Brown sugar. You should take your jacket off right when I start to cook.
Let's welcome guitar maestro Rob Matt. Rob, come on out here, sir. Thank you so much. Rob, dude, so what are we going to make tonight, sir?
Just rock and roll fashion. I make a really good Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce hamburger. We're going to go outside. We're going to grill some burgers. Sauce, brown sugar, lemon juice.
Right
I memorize all these ingredients.
Right.
Of course, you got Jack Daniel's. Yeah. So, you know, you're supposed to only put about a shot or two, not even 2 shots. But we had to save a little.
And if we can have James Tony's cap laying down the smacking pelletier there. Thank you once again, sir.
Oh, thanks, sir.
Thank you once again. Thank you.
What do you need me for?
I need you to take over this. I'm going to wash my hands and make some burgers.
All right. See, I knew there was a reason why I connected with Rob right on, is because, I don't know, we had like a rapport right off the bat. We were in a bus on the way to a festival. And was it Germany or Barcelona?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was Germany. It was the. It was
that's how we met.
It was the Bang Your Head festival.
Okay.
So you were playing with Pelletier.
And for some reason we started chatting.
You're playing with Leatherwolf. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was recent. That was recent then, like last year.
Thursday.
It was a couple years ago.
Thursday.
That was last week. You know.
Kind of hit it off, but I could tell you were an East Coast guy. I could just tell right away.
It's the immediacy.
It's the.
I gotta know now. So I don't know if you could see, but we're just you know.
We got
all that in there. He's got
brown sugar.
Jack, and yeah.
It smells good. I wish you could smell it because it smells really good.
Okay, so is there a pound of meat here, sir?
2 pounds.
2 pounds. Well, those are some big burgers.
Give that the official stir.
Yeah, go ahead, stir up there. Yeah.
Music brought you out here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm originally from New York, and I'm a Long Island guy, and I was playing in bands. New York's a good scene, but...
Stop. Where did you learn how to play?
Well, I started when I was about, I think it was like maybe 6 or 7. When I was like, you know, I got the bug. I wanted to play. I was a big Kiss fan, and you know, and I just wanted to play guitar. So I begged my parents to somehow, you know, get me a guitar. And I remember my dad got me. We went to this flea market. We picked up this gold electric guitar with 1 string. And I didn't know that, it has 1 string, but I took it home and used to just, you know, kind of beat on it and pretend like I was, you know, in a band. And I was trying to get lessons, and I remember there was a great classical guitar teacher in town. I don't teach kids that are, you know, 6 or 7 years old.
6 or 7?
Yeah. So I had to wait a little bit, and I was just trying to learn on my own. But I think I finally started taking lessons with him when I was about 8 or so. You know, 8.
Yeah.
And it was like nylon string classical guitar lessons. I used to go to his house and sit in his living room and you know, learn fingerstyle classical nylon string songs. And probably the hardest tune I did was a Spanish song, Malagueña. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's like a real classic. And,
yeah, I know this.
Anyway, but they, you know, I started doing recitals and stuff, and that wasn't really like what I had in mind. I wanted to, like, you know, play like rock music and rock out and
in front of women.
Yeah, so this was a whole different deal. So I kind of stopped for a while, and then later on, when he opened up the school, he got a rock teacher who kind of became my mentor. His name is Louis Miranda, and he is just an awesome guitar player, more contemporary rock and jazz, and a super funny guy. And again, I was only, I don't know, 11 years old, so, you know.
Wow.
You know, and I was just one of those kids that, like, once he showed me something, I would just, you know, absorb everything, and I just did a lot of stuff on my own. I wanted to learn. I wanted to practice. So I would sit at home and say, how'd you do that? And they'd say, well, it's something like this. And then I'd be home for 12 hours. You know.
So you were that kid. you were that kid who locked himself in his room with his guitar.
I was that kid, and I was the kid that my parents said, if you don't stop playing guitar, we're gonna lock your guitar in the closet. So if you don't do something else.
Did you have to fight him a little bit there?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, when you're not doing other things, you know, I was pretty athletic too, so I played sports and did all those other things. But once I got into guitar, it was like, you know, just a real obsession. So I was like that with anything. I was very competitive. So So if I was playing, even basketball or something like that, if I was trying to work on something, I'd be out there practicing.
Yeah.
So I was like that with guitar, and and then it just, I just stuck with it. So you start off playing easy rock stuff, and then you start discovering players. Like one of my favorite guitar players, Brian Setzer.
Yeah.
And the Stray Cats. I'll never forget.
They were just in time.
I just loved everything about the Stray Cats. They were from Long Island, and Brian Setzer was just super cool, and the orange Gretsch guitar. And I didn't know even like back then what a great player was, but I just like, this sounds so cool. So I started learning that stuff.
I'm gonna sneak in and start.
Oh, here it comes. Yeah, the Jack Daniels.
So, do you have any brothers and sisters?
I do. I grew up with. I have a sister, and that's
musical
just
family?
one sister.
Musical family?
My dad played piano, and so we had a piano in the living room. Like as far as players, I was very into like, Van Halen and stuff like that. Or David Gilmour was a big influence.
Other countries.
Jimmy Page.
Who was the first guitarist? Who was the first guitarist you heard that made you go, "Wow, that's cool. That's what I want to do. That's what I love." Do you remember who was the first?
Yeah. Well, I think it was like Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats, and then after that, it was Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, and then Van Halen. Then when I heard Eddie Van Halen, I was already behind, so I was a little bit younger for the time. Like Van Halen 1 had already been out for a while, and I was like, when the '80s were happening, I was still in like a high school thing, So so when I first heard my friend played me Eruption, and he's got to hear this thing. That's like, what is that? But what really got me was Van Halen 2 when I heard Spanish Fly, which was the nylon string guitar. That just freaked me out.
Such an underrated, forgotten song. And you want to hear Eddie? People, Spanish Fly is amazing guitar.
The cascading, like the runs and the technique and all that, I was like, wow, this is just crazy, This was a whole other thing. And then at that time, I think even 1984 was out. So, they were kind of at their prime. And I was like, well, I got to check out that 1984 stuff. And I heard, Hot for Teacher and all that. And just his tone and his his feel and everything, it was just like a whole other level. So that really took me into that. I went, oh, okay, this is, and I listened to everybody. I was into all the hair metal and everything. Anybody that, had a whatever, like a crazy looking guitar or a song on MTV, whatever, I wanted to, check it out, whether it was like Twisted Sister or just any band, Bon Jovi, so I was like, all that stuff, I loved it, but, it was obvious when you listen to like Eddie Van Halen, like the amount of, virtuosity and the technique and everything.
There's a difference there,
and, and then there were all these guys at the same time that came out, you got the Joe Satriani and Steve Vai and Yngwie and
Chris and Pelletier.
I remember when Chris and Pelletier was out and all these things. So I listened to everyone, and in order to expand your repertoire, you start to hear different names. So you hear something and they say, oh, it's George Benson. Who's that George Benson guy? And then you listen to this and you go, oh my God, And my teacher too, he was kind of a jazz guy, so he introduced me to like Joe Pass and players like that, So I have a pretty like.
So do you?
I guess I should just back up a little. Like I went to music school, so one of the schools I went to was a very heavy jazz pop school. I went to Berkeley, and there are guys that are just straight on jazz players, And I was always a rock guy, and, because before I went there, I was already playing 12 to 13 hours a day. So when I went there, I thought, oh, this will be great. I'll go to music school. But I found out that I couldn't practice for 13 hours a day because I had to, work on music. Oh, I want to play guitar. I don't want to work on, music and scales and writing out charts and all these things. So I was kind of like a little bit of a rebel because I was very into what I was already doing, but it expanded my knowledge. So even to like this day, I'll sit and I'll pull stuff out from, back when I was at Berkeley, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. Now I can see how I can use that scale. Even though it didn't make sense. Like I was watching an interview on, like we all watch stuff on Instagram now, right? Just to me it pops up, and I forgot what was that the new fingerstyle player, Matteo Mancuso, whatever. Is that how you pronounce his name? Just amazing, you know. But he was talking about some jazz fusion scales and how to use them, and I was like, oh, I got to try that, you know.
Yeah.
Because back then it didn't really make much sense. It was just you're learning stuff. Like anybody goes to school, like you're just learning and absorbing, and you're like, why am I learning this? I have no idea. What does this do?
You know, I read a fascinating, right?
Can I turn the
Which
oven
one
down?
is it? Turn it
Yeah,
down.
we got to turn it down a little because we're.
So,
Yeah, I can.
The one that's on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks. See, I'm already fired. We had the day says we fired him already. He came in to cook. That's it. Last day on the job. Yeah. I can do this.
yeah, see, everyone can do it, dude. It's not a cooking show.
I can do this. Come
Why
on.
not?
You always have to push yourself. You know, that's what you want to do. You want to try to create something that, you know, feels like it's original or new or authentic, and that's what usually inspires you to keep going. You know, so you're always searching for something, because when you have all the materials, even like you could say I have all this stuff in front of me, so I've got you know, I've got the chords and scales and everything, and it's like what do you do with it? You know, what's gonna, for me, what's inspiring is when you're creative, you know, how you use that stuff. Otherwise it's just boring. So yeah, it's tricky. I think like anyone that's creative or an artist always runs into that issue where there could be like that kind of that block, you know what I mean? And how do you keep going? So for me, that's what inspires me, and I try not to think about it too much. And like every guitar player, we figure out ways to make ourselves feel like we're creative. Like some guys play in different tunings, you know what I mean? Because when you play in a different tuning, all of a sudden you're not really thinking about what the notes are, and the strings aren't doing exactly what you're saying, and now you're putting your hands in different positions, and oh my God, I got this sound, I don't know where it came from. And even though it's, you know, somebody can analyze it and say, well, because you're tuned like this, and then, you know, you put your fingers here and everything, but I don't want to know about that. It seems like this great creative thing, you know? So that's one thing. I never really got too much into different tunings. I'm just more in the mindset of not thinking too much analytically about, you know, what the notes are and what, you know, I just sort of let my ear and inspiration kind of guide me. I mean, the best stuff that I do is if I can close my eyes and just play. You know, when I was like 15, or I think I was about 15, was when I got my first Marshall amplifier, because before that I had smaller combo amps, and I had heard about these bigger amps that everyone was using, like Van Halen and Hendrix and Who, and just everybody, you know. So I went to the music store in Queens, whatever the store was. I remember the guys said, well, if you really want to be like a pro, here are your choices. You can play either, there's a Mesa Boogie, and this is great for this, or you got the Marshall. And I was like, I knew about Van Halen, you know, and I was a big Randy Rhoads fan and George Lynch fan and Doc and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm going with the Marshall. I'm a Marshall guy. So I brought it home and you know, proceeded to blow my ears out in the garage and crank it up as loud as it would go and stand in front of it and learn about it, you know. And you start to learn about, like, you know, those amps, they're tube amps. They have different tubes in them and stuff. And you start to read, oh, what did he use? What, you know, and all these different things. So as you play like a tube amplifier, they're really reactive and responsive to your playing technique. It's different than...
How so? What do you mean? You have to give me more details.
Well, you can. It's like a sense, but you could feel, you know, the strings. How? Okay, I'll give you a good example. Depending on how hard you hit the strings is going to make how the amp is going to sound. So on a tube amplifier, if you play an A chord, okay, and you have it dialed up with a little bit of gain, which is like overdriving the circuit, but it's pretty clean. But if it's like a Marshall, the way it reacts and it works is if you hit it really hard, you'll hear like that AC/DC crunch, you know, right? But if I hit it softer, it's clean and it's dynamic. Okay. So that's what you learn. Yeah, you learn that really early on, and when you're playing tube amps, oh, well, so if I pick harder, I get more of this type of tone, and if I hit the chords harder, and so this is like a whole kind of playing technique that more I want to say the older school generation has, but a lot of the younger school generation is not really that aware of it because
it's on computer, right?
It's digital modeling and it's solid state, and they've worked for years to basically make solid state amps react and respond like a tube amp. So that's the whole sales pitch on, well, it's a solid state amp, it's light, and you don't need tubes, and it reacts and sounds just like a tube amp. So, right? So just like that. So, but anyway, so once you start to do that, you start to realize that a lot of the playing is in your hands and your technique and how you approach the guitar, and then you experiment. You know, you'll have a buddy that says, "Oh, I've got a Strat and I've got this," and very early on, it's very easy to learn the main difference. There's really only like 3 types of main sounds in guitar. There's the humbucker sound, which is like more, you know, mid-rangey, meaty. Then there's the Strat sound, which is like single coil pickups, which are thinner. The mids are kind of scooped out, you know. And then there's like the telly, which is like the country twang kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
So they're all good for different things, you know, but they also affect your playing. So I love the sound of a humbucker, but I really like playing on single coils or humbuckers that are designed to sound like single coils because they give you more pluck and spank and stuff.
So is that what you play?
Well, so on my main guitar, which is like it's not like it's a 70s Strat, 79 Strat that I just put some different pickups in. And
That's the one you brought?
I brought it,
You brought a 1979 Strat?
Yeah, which is honestly, technically, 79 is like not even really like a great.
I want his jacket and his guitar.
Yeah.
No
You want me to show you?
I want his jacket and his guitar.
It's I had a couple things done on it, and it's just one of those things that I just never got. I never like. If it stayed the way it was as like a 79 Strat, no offense, Fender, you know what I mean? Then I don't think I would play that. That's not really my thing. But it's got some cool history, and I could show it to you.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
But it basically, I popped in some different pickups, and it's only the 3rd round of pickups. It started when I moved out to LA. One of the reasons I got the Strat was because I worked in a music store in New York, and I could always get good deals on stuff, you know, and I had a couple of Les Pauls, and which were really nice, and they would come in, and the owner would be like, "You want that one, right?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, Les Paul," you know, and but before I moved out to LA, I said, I need a Strat, so I brought in these 2 Les Pauls, and he cut me a deal, and I brought it out, but it was a standard 79 Strat that has the, you know, the regular headstock with the low frets, what's it, the bullet headstock. The frets, you know, they're just. It's just like a Strat, like so you see a lot of like R&B guys like playing, you know. And when I moved out here, I was getting into the studio scene, and I'll never forget one of the guys that I used to hang out with was Steve Eistek, Roger Bell. I'll never forget my friend Michael Latanzi, who was a great producer. He's in Nashville now. Hey, Michael. Yeah, he was the one that really. You know, got me to come out here and pursue the session scene and put out some words. And when I came out here, he introduced me to this guy, Roger. And Roger said, you know, what you need to do is you need to put in these, you know, different pickups. It's a cool guitar, but this will be great for sessions. And the ones that we threw in were these Seymour Duncan Classic stats. I like to do things fast. You know, so the guy that works on my guitar, he said, well, you know, I got this pickup sitting around here on the desk. And I was like, what's that? And he said, "Oh, it's a Hot Rails. It's Seymour Duncan Hot Rails. And I'll sell it to you for $30." So I said, "Oh, let's do it. Yeah, pop it in." You know, so that's all it is. Just the Hot Rails in the bridge, and then the classic stacks. Yeah.
Who do you think is the best Strat player?
Oh, I think I need a drink for that. No, you know, I think it's pretty obvious. Like the best Strat guy is like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Don't you think?
Yes.
I mean, he's the guy that like embodies the Strat, you know?
One.
Yes.
I mean, like his whole, you know, everything that he would play, and you know, his whole tone and feel and his rhythm, were probably like unmatched. And there's so many people out there that, you know, kind of encapsulate that whole C. Ray Vaughan vibe because he was just right up there, you know. And all these guys, like even like, you know. Like Clapton became a Strat guy. Yeah, he's great, but he started off on an SG though, right? Or right? Wasn't it back in the Cream and everything? And I love his tone. I love his tone. Gilmore.
Yeah, Gilmore plays
Gilmore's
Strat.
great. Yeah.
Honestly, I think David Gilmour has the most musical solos I've ever heard.
You could sing the solo, right?
Dude.
Yeah.
And if there's any solos that fit perfectly within the fucking song,
Fire it again.
right?
He didn't think he was a good guitar player.
Get
Gilmour
out.
says,
Really?
What?
No,
Yeah.
he's been quoted like, "Oh, I didn't think I did that
Yeah.
solo very well," or "I didn't think I did."
No way. They're works
Yeah.
of art.
Right.
And I'm not slamming. I'm not dissing anyone else.
No,
man.
No, Gilmour's.
You know, but
Yeah.
Gilmour's just.
Gilmour's God.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't argue against that. That's for sure.
Well, you know, it's funny because I didn't mention, but they were a big part of like when I was in that initial learning stage, the whole Pink Floyd thing, and one of the first like full solos I learned was that time solo.
Really? Yeah.
You know,
The first one of the first solos
yeah.
our son learned was Comfortably Numb.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean,
So,
and again, it's like undeniable when you hear it. You don't really know, but you're like, wow, that sounds so good. It
Right?
sounds so cool. The way the guitar comes
Yeah.
in. His guitar tracks are just
Exactly.
ridiculous. You know what I mean?
And it's just,
And you think it's easy too. Then when you keep playing and you're like,
Right, yeah.
I'm going to go record guitar and
Right.
whatever, and you're like, wow, you know.
Dude, I tried. I thought it was going to be easy. I picked up a
Yeah.
guitar. I didn't play like David Gilmour.
Yeah.
I played like Corey Feldman. So, what
Is
is
that even him? But what's the story with that? It's like somebody else
I'm
playing.
sorry. You got to go
Yeah.
watch that on YouTube.
I didn't
dude.
watch it. I just saw pictures of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a very unique tone. We'll just
Okay.
leave it at that. Great outfit,
Yeah.
though. I love the fucking purple.
Right.
All right, let's get back to this.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this interview now.
Okay.
Okay, that's enough music for now.
Okay.
What do you have any outside hobbies? Do you have time to have
Not
any outside
really.
hobbies?
Well, I guess, you know, when I was like growing up, I was also into like sports and stuff, but
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
really have the time to do that now. But
Do you follow sports?
yeah, I'm
What's your
a
favorite sport?
football fan. But I,
What's
you know,
who's your favorite team? Giants? They're really long.
I was never a big Giants fan.
Yeah.
I like the Giants because they're from New York, but I hate to say it, but I'll say it, but I'm going to have a lot of haters out there. They're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't let the cat out of the bag. I've always been a Cowboy fan.
Oh no!
And they lose every year.
Okay,
Yeah.
his social media will be listed on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Send him the hate mail, man.
But, you know, I got to tell you, I mean, it's been like 20 years. Something always happens.
Dude, I'm a
In the final
Vikings
game,
fan.
They
Don't cry to
They
me.
always throw the season.
no,
you know what I mean?
no.
It started. Oh, I'll turn this off. Yeah.
It's got a cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baseball?
Yes, I was a big Yankee fan.
Did you play? You said you
I
played.
did,
You
yeah,
played
yeah.
baseball,
Yes.
right? Yeah. What
But
position?
it was in Little League.
Yeah. What position? What'd you play?
Yeah, I was the shortstop or the second baseman. And I think I started at second base, but I really wanted to be a shortstop, and that's what I went to. But you know, that was when you're a kid playing in the infield. That was a big deal, you know,
Exactly,
because if
yeah,
you really
'cause
couldn't catch, you're out in the outfield.
That's where you were at. Yes.
But
Right.
yeah, I just try to stay healthy, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I do a bunch of running and try to work out. And
How do you do that on the road? When you're out touring, are you jogging in cities, or are you using the hotel gym?
I'm in my hotel room in the air conditioning or the room service. You know what I mean? I don't know how people do that. Like you're in like, well, I'm going to get up early and go for a run, and then I go have breakfast, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to talk to anybody, and just tell me when I need to be at the sound check tomorrow. So because you're just exhausted. You're exhausted from the traveling.
I would think so.
But I tell you, if you stay in a nice place and you do have a day off or something, and let's say they have a pool or something like that, that's always great. You gotta go take advantage of the pool and get some chill time and
I think,
some sun.
What a
right?
lot of people
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of fans can understand this. And someone asked Billy, I'll talk to Billy about this too, because he mentioned this on social media. Someone asked him, oh, you got a day off in Germany, you're gonna go sightseeing. And Billy's like, I'm not on vacation, dude. I'm working.
Yeah, it's like almost impossible.
We're here to work. If I get a day, I can go have a nice dinner at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go visit a castle.
No, some people do that, and
Are you all work on tour?
pretty much I'm thinking about the gigs. I'm thinking about what do I have to do, what I need to be prepared for whatever the show is, or we have a performance, we got to be up early the next morning. If we have to do a radio station thing,
Right.
and that means we have a
Or
lobby
Metal
call,
Mastication.
at 5:30 a.m. you got to be in the lobby. Like, I'm already thinking about that the day before.
Yeah, right, of course, yeah.
In the lobby. Everybody else is like, "Whoa, we're gonna go take a bus over and sightsee." I'm like, "I'll be at the hotel." yeah. I'll be. So just call me 2 hours before. I got 3 wake-up calls. But no, seriously, I think if you can see a couple things and it works in, like, well, we got a day off and I want to go here. Like, sometimes it's silly, like you got to go try to see something. And
if you're in Rome, you got to
and if you have a little entourage, like you have the record label, they want to show you, they want to take you out to eat, and they want to those things. People know where they're going. I'm not a big fan of going and not knowing where we're going type of thing. I'm sort of like, I always walk the line with that. Like, I got a good example. Do you ever been on like one of those cruises? The the Monster Rock cruise.
Talk about that, because you did one. So let me wait before you tell your story. There's one question.
Yeah.
So when you're a band and you're booked for these cruises, right? Mm-hmm. Who's paying for that? That's what I want to know. Like your airfare, the cruise, and plus you're also getting money for the gig, I'm assuming.
Of course, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So who's paying for the cruise? Is that the record label? Is that part of the contract that you saw? Okay, well, we'll play. It's be like $500 for a concert plus cruise tickets, or
it works with the booking agent and the cruise promoters.
So you're not paying for your room.
No.
Okay, you don't pay for anything on the cruise, correct?
Sometimes they try to, like, when you first get on, they'll be like, well, you got to pay for your liquor. And then as soon as they know that you're in the band, they're like, yeah. But no, you don't. Basically, like, like when I did a couple cruises with Player, and you're sort of like the celebrity guests on the cruise, so they have a room for you, and you're getting paid for the shows that you're doing, and because you're on a cruise, there's all the food is comped basically, unless you have to eat in like the specific, they have like restaurants, and they'll tell you like, well, we'll give you a voucher for this or whatever, and then a lot of times they'll, because you're in the band, you're playing in the theaters and whatever, there are things on the riders that are like, and Players, one of those bands that has like, a rider where it's like, there's got to be olives and there's got to be prosciutto,
green
and there's we're going to have 4 bottles of white and 2 bottles of red or whatever. So you don't really worry about it too much. But what happens is when you're on those cruises too, is that a lot of people want to, part of your gig is hanging out with people. So people are saying, hey, come, hang out over this, and they buy you drinks and we'll buy you this and we'll whatever. So it's kind of I've never played on a cruise as like a cruise ship guy. Every time I've gone on a cruise, it's been one of these like a special kind of occasion cruise, like where you're kind of on the cruise because people want to take pictures with the band, and you're also like, your gig is, you don't have to hang out and mingle, but it's just cool. People like it, So it just gets funny though, because before you know it, they're like, hey, that's the guy from the band. Hey, wait, come over here 1 second. Yeah. Hey, when you were playing, so you're like, God, I can't get down the hall without 3 people asking me this or that. So, but they're super fun, And
so what were you going to say?
It just depends on, so Player is, because, it's got that whole yacht rock sailing. We've done a couple of like the rock and romance cruises, and those are a lot of fun, super nice. And with Leatherwolf, we did the Monsters of Rock cruise, and that gets a little bit more rowdy, but it's still, it's super high scale, like,
Did you have
food's
fun?
killer, and it's great. So and it's hard. There's so many fans that come out that you don't even realize. Like, so you don't even know. You just, as soon as you're on the ship and people find out, like, you're the guitar player in Leatherwolf, and everyone, Leatherwolf! Everyone's shaking their heads, high-fiving, and it's hard not to have fun. And then even, the bartenders, you go, I'm going to have a margarita or something, and then before you know it, they're like pouring a full glass of tequila, and, you're like, okay, what do I got to do now? This is tough.
Right.
But I guess the hard thing is just trying to get if you're worried about the gig or something, that would be tricky, you know what I mean? But all those guys, we haven't been on it in a while, but I know all the bands are on it and stuff. But you know, it's hard to like. I remember one of the bands I was in a player thing, and one of the guys was hey, when we get on the ship, let's go over the stuff in my room. And I was like, that's not gonna happen. like as soon as you get on the ship, I get on the ship. We're not even gonna see each other until sound check. You know, right? I mean, it's like
have you done a cruise? Have you done a music cruise?
I've never played.
Oh.
You never played.
I've whistled during a cruise,
it
but I've
doesn't-
never played during a cruise.
Yeah, it's fun. It's hard because and then you can get lost on those ships too, where it's literally like a Spinal Tap. You're like, "Where's the stage, man? I'm supposed to be on the stage." And then people know you're in the band. They're like, "Oh, you're in. Oh, you guys are down there. Oh, okay."
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you get in the cruise, everybody dispersed.
Yeah.
Where is everybody?
No idea. And my biggest fear is that I won't find the stage, like in Spinal Tap. You know what I mean? So, and I swear to God,
hilarious.
it happened to me once in a band when I was going to Berkeley. I had original band, and we had a gig somewhere in Massachusetts, and it was a snowstorm and all this crazy stuff. And basically, I got lost trying to get to the gig, and we missed our time slot. And it was such a nightmare.
That is
oh
awesome.
yeah. But when I got there, it was like everybody was like, "How could you do this to us?" And I was like, "You understand, man?" And I was like, I'm lost in a snowstorm, you know. And then like the drummer forgave me. He was like, "I forgive you, Robbie." And I was like, "Dude," I mean, I left 3 hours early, you know. Yeah. So I like to like even coming out here, like you were like, "Oh, you want to ride?" I was like, "I'm going to jump in your car." So this way, if we both get lost, we're lost together.
We didn't get lost, but it was quite an adventure getting here.
Yeah. And then this guy said, "What happened to Rob?" Yeah. Yeah.
James is texting me. When are you going to be here?
It's not all. It's not
he was
all
really
on me.
nice. Yeah. ETA, please.
I mean,
Angela is starving.
And I didn't.
I was in the back seat. It's like, please text.
I can't.
Text
I don't.
James
I don't.
and say, I don't have his number.
Right.
It's on
Yeah.
your phone.
You know, like I told you, and
Yeah.
he rides too. You know, I ride a motorcycle here in LA, and so I do not touch my phone when I'm driving.
Yeah. Well, that's
Okay? I just don't do it.
smart, you know.
If it goes off and someone's in the car, I'm like, get that. And if they're not, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, don't touch your phone when you're driving.
I don't touch anything when I'm driving.
Well, that's I don't even. Okay. Whoa.
Well,
that-
it just
that went
takes
south
it just takes like a split second. You know what I mean?
You've been in all these bands. You
Yeah.
went to Berkeley, man. You played in Player, Leatherwolf, iconic bands. You got this gig going with Soul Sign, with Bjorn. Our guest Bjorn is an amazing bass player, amazing musician, blah, blah, blah. What are you most proud of?
Wow, that's a good question.
Oh, why, thank you, sir.
Like stuff that I've recorded wise.
I'm not defining that. That's for you to define.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
It doesn't need to be music.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about music, I would say that I'm really proud of the guitars on the new Leatherwolf album.
Yeah.
They were.
Where's that album?
They were
Proponent.
a labor of sweat and love. Yeah. This record, we pretty much recorded most of it and finished it during the whole COVID period. So it was kind of a crazy time when everybody was holed up and like, you know, super paranoid about the virus. And I was approached to basically, you know, make a record. And it was like, you know, I wouldn't have thought of that during COVID.
Right.
But me and the original drummer, Dean Roberts.
Dean
from Leatherwolf.
Dean Drum Machine Roberts.
He's got a great studio at his house, and we just would get together a couple times a week.
If you don't mind,
No.
Yeah.
Rob sent me this CD.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Fucking amazing. I really loved every song on it. And before he came by, I was listening to all of them. I wrote down all the songs. I'm like, I love all of them. But it's really like the guitar playing, the production especially, but everything, the arrangements, production, everything
Right
was
on, man.
really,
How's the
really
bass?
impressive.
Yeah.
Bass is good. Bass is damn good.
Barry
So I just
Sparks,
wanted to come in and
monster
say
bass
that.
player,
So,
yeah.
What's his name?
Barry Sparks.
Barry Sparks?
Yeah. Well,
Monster,
respected.
yeah.
Thank you, Barry.
Barry came in and
Great to
Great
smack
album.
Yeah.
Great
Thanks,
album.
James.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
is. I agree. Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, I'm definitely real proud of that. But on another note, like I said, so the Soul Sign's got a new record coming out, and I'm really proud of a lot of the guitar
How
that I
much
did
of
on
that
that
record
as
is
well. It's actually pretty much all done.
All done?
We're just in the
Okay.
final stages of when we're going to release it.
Okay. All right.
But it's all done, and it's a little different in terms of like what I do on that, you know, where versus that.
Is this your first Soul Sign album, or were you on the first one too?
Yeah, I was on the first one too.
I thought so.
So yeah, so I actually hooked up with them back in like 2010, I think it was.
Yeah. The first one came out in 2011, didn't it?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
only
played
heard
on
it
a
once,
couple
sorry,
of
Bjorn, but it is really good. Sorry, Rob.
That's
only heard it
okay.
once.
That's okay. Yeah.
That's
So,
because Michael's singing on that too, right? That's Michael Olivieri,
right.
right? He sings
On the
that
first Soul
album, too.
Sign,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's awesome.
That's how I hooked up with Leatherwolf
Yeah,
through
of
Michael.
course.
So I had actually met Bjorn just at the NAMM show and at like the Fender booth or something.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
And we just crossed paths, and then like a few weeks later we exchanged information. He called me up and said, my guitar player, you know, can't make it, and I've got these gigs in Sweden. You know, would you be interested in doing that? And I thought, wow, Sweden! I've never been to Sweden.
Never been to
before.
Sweden? That's good. They got great meatballs.
And we just had a great rapport. We got along great right away. You know,
He's
a
a
lot of laughs, a lot of smiles, and I knew he was a great player. And I think he was playing with like Yngwie at the time, and Willie John Roth, and all these heavy cats. And so we got together, and we basically we were supposed to get together and jam. And we wound up doing something like this in his apartment, but more of in a drinking sense and listening to music.
There you go. That works.
Yeah.
Too.
And at the end, it was like, "This is great. We're gonna do it. Book your ticket." And then I left.
Sabbath albums were written that way, I believe.
So the funny thing is, we didn't actually play anything, but you know, I took the gig, and he's like, "You're the guy." And then we did like 2 rehearsals, and Michael showed up at the rehearsal, and that's when I met him. And then we went and we did some shows, and we had a really good time. And and we just got along really well. And then I didn't really know much about Leatherwolf. He just said, I'm the singer of this band, Leatherwolf. And then we kept in touch. And then I kind of started seeing, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I know them. And they needed someone for some recording projects that they were doing.
Okay.
And there was some movement going on in the camp.
A lot of movement in that camp.
It's not the kind of gig that you just like, you know, like on a Wednesday you get the call and you're like, hey, can you come out on Friday and learn the whole set? You know what I mean? So I started talking to those guys for months, you know, before, and we had some shows lined up that didn't even happen, like with me in the fold. And then me and Dean had been recording for a while, and then we finally picked a date. And we're like, okay, we're gonna, you know, start with you, and that was back like, I don't know, 2012 or something.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time goes fast.
I would be proud of that too, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know Leatherwolf is hitting the road here. Where are you going? Where are you playing?
Not really sure, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're heading out
next week. Come on, you got to know where you're going.
My plane tickets aren't booked. No. We're going. Well, next week we're going to be in Arizona.
Who are you opening for?
We're doing some shows with Riot.
Doing some shows with Riot. I didn't put you on the opening thing there. Right.
That's okay. Yeah. We're doing some shows with Riot. That's going to be in the following week in Denver and Seattle, I think.
Have you ever played with Riot before?
I don't think so.
Okay,
unless we did a festival with them.
Do you like tequila?
I do.
Donnie.
Yeah.
You're going to be drinking a lot of tequila then. Because that's all Donnie drinks, tequila.
And then in September, at the end of September, I think we're doing some other things with Riot as well.
Okay, so you know, Riot, it's been around forever, since the 80s, tragic story. They've influenced everyone. Kirk and James from Metallica love Riot and occasionally even wear Riot shirts in concert.
Yeah.
So they're playing Seattle the same weekend you guys are playing. Okay? Now, you know, Metallica on this tour, they're playing Friday night. They take Saturday off. They play Sunday night. You guys are playing Saturday.
Oh, sick.
How much you want to bet James
those
and
guys
Kirk
are going to be there?
don't show up in that audience?
That'd be sick.
Wouldn't that just be sick?
That'd be totally sick, dude.
Have
Yeah,
them fucking jump up on stage with you? Holy
Totally,
shit.
yeah.
Holy
I'm a James Hetfield fan all the way.
Yeah,
man.
no,
I
I'm
love
more
Metallica,
Kirk
yeah,
than
yeah.
James, but James is a phenomenal guitar player too. He really is an amazing rhythm guitarist.
Yes.
But Kirk's on a different level. Okay, we need to wrap this up and move outside.
Let's make some burgers.
So let's go cook some burgers. Now I did bring my homemade burger seasoning if you want.
Nice.
Or not. It's up to you if you want them on there.
Yeah,
or not.
throw
it's up to you guys.
there,
So
yeah.
sprinkle this
Throw it on
This
there.
recipe will be there. This is my homemade steak seasoning.
Did we forget to do a shot?
No, we can do a shot
Oh, yeah.
outside.
Okay, we'll do that.
Metal Masticator. This is Brett, and I'm on location in the wilds of Ventura Hills, California. We've been here before. We know this environment is teeming with metalheads. We have interviewed vixens living with heavily drinking canines and warlords and thundercats laying the smackdown. And there's a rumor there's a steel shred cat roaming these hills as well. We tracked him on GPS. We think he's right around the corner. Let's go see what we can find. Looks like a thundercat and a leatherwolf. Looks like Rob Math. That's Rob Math from Leatherwolf and Soul Sign. Hey guys!
What's happening? Yeah, man.
Woo!
Easy
Right
good?
on. Yeah, that was awesome, guys.
Can't see anything.
That was awesome. So now dude.
Wow.
Woo! Free bird!
It's a
Free
strap.
bird!
Yeah, man.
Free bird!
Trying to get something.
Awesome. Gotta stop.
Hello.
That was awesome.
How late are you guys doing this?
We're done.
We're done.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
For a TV show. Thank you. You know, it could be worse. We can have a drummer and a bass player here, and a guitar player. So
Dude.
Not in these part of the woods. Dude.
yeah, good job. Wow.
Okay.
Love
All right,
it.
yeah.
Love it. Right on, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Woo! All right. Cheers.
Cheers,
Dude,
guys.
thank
Glad
you
to
so
finally
much,
have you
Rob.
come
Oh,
by.
thank you guys. Yeah.
Salute.
This was
Claudia.
awesome. Salute.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh,
Right
no,
on,
yeah.
man.
Thanks, guys. Good times. Hang on.
Is that the Barbie?
You got our cookies.
Is that the Barbie?
Yeah, it's the Barbie. Let me put my little touch on this stuff. Okay? I like it well done.
See why you don't
Not
drink
ready
it?
yet.
We cut out.
You want to toast the buns?
This looks killer.
No, not at this
It
point.
gives you that extra, you know,
Carbon.
courage that you don't really need, but you think you need, and you're like, drink a couple of them, and you're like, oh yeah.
Well, now this one has extra carbon. How is it?
Oh yeah. Excellent.
Great. That sauce is just amazing. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this recipe will be on the YouTube channel.
There you go.
Brush my buns. Just let you know.
Ooh, that's what I want to do actually.
Go home and brush your buns.
I want to throw some.
If you're home, you can also.
I'm gonna throw some extra Jack Daniel's sauce on it.
But if you're under 18, get your parents' permission first.
We're not showing you that on camera.
That's a wrap, masticators. And our apologies to Billy Sheen. We ran out of time. You get this guy to stop talking about his gigs, because I couldn't do it. Next time, horns up.
Billy!
Yeah.
That would
Okay,
fit
look
me
in
in
the
there.
mirror. Yeah,
There you go.
That's a rock and roll.
Yeah, he looks like a rock star.
I do? Wow, okay.
Oh yeah.
See? Yeah. Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
So we have all this stuff.
Yes. Just finished.
This is really cool. And Rob just signed the whole thing. And yeah, the white is cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was fun playing with you.
Yeah, dude.